Hey everyone, it's your boy KP, and I figured today I would show you some cool snare drum stuff. I figure with one of the most important drums on a drum set, you need to learn about it. So that's what we're going to do today. So first off, we're going to talk about different grips, right? So let's start with the good old-fashioned one that they used to use in war zones when they'd march on the field, and in the battle is the traditional grip. Now there's some history with this, which I can go over real quick, but back in the day when they were marching into war, the drum would sit out in front of them like this, and they would that with the drum sitting in front of them. Now, back in the day, these drums were huge. They were way longer, a little bit bigger, and so when you're marching, this is going to get in the way, right? It's right in front of your legs. You're going to be clumsy. So what they decided to do is move the snare up here, right? So instead of playing it how they could have, they could have played it like this. But up here, it was a little bit more difficult, right? So with that being difficult, what do? Oh, well, you just switch it. So much easier that way. Now, it is different because of the arm movement. This is going to be your forearm. But you'll notice the wrist still turns. Hey, look at the wrist still turns this way too. It's just understanding the anatomy of your arm and how things bend, how they shouldn't bend. But with traditional grip, they were onto something when they had that. So then when they could march in the battle, bam, it was there. They didn't have to worry about tripping over stuff, nothing, they were there. Now in the jazz movement, down in New Orleans back in the day, same thing, except there weren't very many drum sets when that started. It was, you had a guy on snare, you had a guy on bass drum, and you had maybe a guy clashing cymbals together. But it wasn't until the invention of the bass pedal that it brought those drums and everything together. Because the guy playing bass, hey, I don't need you, snare drummer, I got it too. So just combined everything. So when the drum set did that, it made it very easier for drummers to either A, play traditional, or play match or German grip, which is where your hands are flat, right? And you want to play like that. Right? Or there's one more, and that's French grip. And I play French grip, just depending on where I'm at in the song. If I'm in the moment, it'll switch between, German grip, which if you play flat-handed, it keeps you around the drums easier. If you're on cymbals though, or you're on a floor tom, or you just want quick attack, use your French grip. Use all of it. These are tools. These are words for your vocabulary. So use all of them. And French will sound like this. Right? So the next thing we're going to learn about is rim shots. Now with rim shots, you want a really awesome, fat, clicky sound. And I'll show you what that means. So you want it to sound like this. Sounds really good, right? You don't want it like this. Doesn't sound good. So the way to do that is you want the taper end of the stick, so where it starts to taper down like that, it's called the shoulder of the stick. And you just want to lay that bad boy right across the root of the drum, right? So in order to do that, you want to cup your hand, right? So you want your hand kind of cupped on the stick. You want the taper end, the shoulder, between 2 and 3 o'clock on the drum. The butt end of the stick does not touch the rim, right? So with your hand cupped, the shoulder here, the button of the stick not leaving, this is what you'll get. Right? Sounds good. Now keep in mind, when you're doing this, you never want to hit where a tension rod is, and you'll notice it, you'll see it, it's right here. See how it kind of gives a nasty sound compared to... That is more full, and it sounds way better. So the last thing I'm going to teach you on snare drum that you guys can practice is called the Moeller technique. Now, first off, drumming is like dancing. When you dance, you're dancing to the drums. The snare drum is what you bob your head to when you hear music. So with the Moeller technique, it helps you understand that everything is fluid. In a way, it's a lot like dancing. So to do that, you want to place your stick on the snare. I'm going to go about 4 o'clock with this guy. And you want to place the tip of the stick dead center on the snare drum. Okay. Now, bring him up to 3. It's going to be weird. And do that, right? So here, we'll do this correctly. So we're going to go 4 o'clock, up to 3, bam, and up. Okay, so how are you going to hit a drum like that? Well, super easy, right? So when you put your stick up like that, it helps the attack a lot better. You hear it, right? Try it on the rim, because the rim's going to be important too. Snare drum. Right? Hear how loud that is? Now you want to try that with both hands. What you do with one hand, you do with the other. What you do with one foot, you do with the other. And when you do that, it helps you immensely. There's no other way to do that. You want to do everything with every limb as much as you possibly can. So with the Moeller technique, it sounds silly, but it helps you become more fluid. You want to be fluid with your emotions and with your physical playability. You know, you want everything to be fluid. As Bruce Lee says, be like water, and that's what being a drummer is. You have to learn to adapt, play low, play high, play quiet, play loud, everywhere in between. So that's going to be very helpful. If you guys are interested in lessons, please feel free to message petrossdrummer@gmail.com. I will answer any questions you guys have. Let's set up some lessons. I do them online or in person. And you know, the most important thing is we have fun. You know, I don't understand other instruments much, but I do understand this one of the oldest instruments of them all, which, you know, it's been around that long, it's got to be good, right?